What's up, y'all? Coach Jeff here.
Coach Kenny, the Ravens.
And welcome to Real Talk 1012 for another edition of Week 4 action.
Hey, first of all, man, I'm questioning the commissioner here, man, with the bag for.
Man. So I'm going to tell you. So I'm officially wearing this trash bag on my head, man, because I'm going to tell you, I'm not satisfied with my picks, man, and the way that I've been picking, having my game predictions, man.
Uh-huh.
So I just wore this to symbolize, man.
It's 3-6 falling.
Let me take this off, man. I wore this to symbolize, man. I gotta admit this to everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, I have been trash on my picks, on my predictions of the week.
Yes.
But you know what? And I say this, but this is the week. This is the week where I will get it together, and you guys will see that I'm the mastermind behind what's gonna happen in terms of these games for week 4. So let that be known. You heard it here first.
Mastermind. This is week 4 for our pregame show. Commissioner Jeff is at 3-6. Coach Kenny's at 7-2 in predictions.
You had to bring that forward. I'm 3-6. I haven't been doing so well, but we're halfway through the season, so I'm looking forward to going. What we got 9-0 for the rest of the season. My prediction. But nonetheless, thank you guys for joining us on another edition of Real Talk 1012. We're excited to be here. We're halfway through the season, fellas. And you guys have been doing an amazing job on various fronts, from what you carry yourself to the energy you guys bring each and every week to memorize the game day verses, everything. I'm so proud of you guys, and let's keep this up, yo. The buzz is out there about what's going on. And in the midst of everything that's going on in our city, you guys are shining stars. So appreciate that. Let's keep this up, y'all.
Definitely, man. Definitely gotta keep it going. A lot of people on the outside stop me during the week, telling me what's with the kids, tell me they like to get behind y'all, man. They see young brothers trying to be progressive in life. So just keep doing what we're doing, stay strong, keep all our violence outside our field, have a good time playing football.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So a couple quick announcements before we get into last week's recap. Is we want to give a shout out to the MVP for the week, Larry. Mm-hmm. Larry did an amazing job. He had 5 touchdowns, a pick, extra point conversion, a tackle, and just all around. Like I said, in the post this week, just all around great attitude when he's on the field. I feel like he is one of the players that really gets everyone around him better.
I can actually say that. You can really speak on that when you see the week before that game to this week's game.
Yeah.
That just passed. Larry is a big piece of that game.
Yeah.
A big part of that team, which he is needed very much. He's well deserved MVP. Congratulations to Larry again, man. You did a good job coming and helping your team bounce back from that loss.
Yeah. And a big loss. It was a big loss.
It was a 38-0 loss. It was a huge loss.
You had to say the score, Ken.
You're right. Larry, shout out to Larry, as I was saying. He's a great quarterback. I'm not gonna say he's a great quarterback. I like him. Hopefully we see him again in the future.
Yes, sir. I have a good feeling you guys will. So congratulations to him. We have this week.
One more shout out.
Yes, sir.
Man. Coach Jeff posted there, which I didn't even know was myself. My own player stepped up for another teammate. And I did a game day job for one of his teammates that was in the middle of doing his job. Didn't feel like doing no more. He stepped up and took the game day job for it. That's a big shout out to Kamari Ebanks, man. Good one, man. Good.
He's doing
that's teamwork. That's teamwork.
He's doing the thing, modeling servant leadership, which we want to really encourage all our players to really model. The great, you can be the greatest, and the greatest, that the Bible talks about is you become great by serving. And so that's what Kamari did. So shout out to him. Quick announcements: $10 or game day job. Gotta have it by this week to be able to play. You guys have heard this, week after week. So make sure let's get this done, fellas. And then also we have 1 to 2 more spots available for camp. The camp is in Pittsburgh. It's a sports camp. It's called Summer's Best 2 Weeks, City Kids, and it will be June 26th, which is a Sunday. We're leaving, and we're coming back on Saturday, July 1st in the afternoon. It's gonna be the time of your life. We heard great things about the camp, And we have 1 or 2 spots. So if you want to be one of those 2 spots, then give us a holler as soon as possible.
And if you want to know more about that, it's a video on the app, right?
Yeah.
So go check out the app, see the fun of the kids up there on 2 weeks of fun, man. Come on, enjoy yourself. Treat yourself. Don't cheat yourself.
Yeah, there you go. I like that. So without further ado, we just want to take time to recap last week's action, week 3 action. We had some great games.
Yes,
we had a game, Falcons. You had a bounce back Eagles. Eagles bounced back, against the Falcons. We had a great game of the week. We also had a shootout.
Game. Yes.
Shootout with the Panthers.
That made me stay on the
Bengals.
sideline and think, that was going back. By the time we turn around, I made my whole team stay, watch the game. You seen it like, plays go back and forth. That Panthers and Bengals game, that should have been the game of the week if we knew its outcome like it was going to be like that.
It was a high scoring game.
It definitely was.
So let's start with this. Let's start with this Falcons game. Falcons Eagles game. Eagles took care of them 40-20.
I'm not gonna
any highlights from that game?
I'm not gonna throw no dirt. I'm not gonna throw no shade at them. But man, the Falcons, bro, y'all gotta. It seems like y'all taking over the 49ers position that they had last year. They can't get over that winner's hump. You got to get that win, that one win to let the people know in the league that y'all here for real. Y'all playing, y'all got the athleticism. I'm not going to take that from y'all. Y'all got the players. It's the point of gelling that together, putting y'all core together, and have y'all purpose to win. What y'all play together for. But the Eagles, like I said, Larry, bounce back, good comeback, help your boys get that set together, 40-20 win. But the highlights I seen out of that was, I only caught the end of about the last 3-5 minutes of the game, was how even though the Falcons was losing, they never gave up.
Yeah,
they still fought. They still fought. So that's a big shout out to them. That's hard. You don't get it in a lot of teams. You always, once you lose it, you give up. And once you give up, you lost the game for real. Yeah. But to me, they still stuck in there, fought that last 3 minutes. They didn't just throw anything up. They played hard. So the highlight to me was the Falcons, even though they lost.
Yeah.
They still fought and stood there.
Yeah. And I even got a chance to hang around a little bit afterwards and hear some of the players talking, and they were saying, we're gonna implement another practice this week, even if the coach can't be there. And so they know. I think they realize the potential, and they realize that they are not an 0-3 team.
No.
Even though their record said that now. And we'll see what kind of adjustments they make. But all in all, that's a hard Eagles team to stop. The aerial attack of the Eagles team, Larry can heave the ball, the 40, 50-yard passes, and he has some receivers that can run up under it and outrun defenders getting open. And that's going to be hard for any team to stop. But we saw that this week as, the Eagles took care of the Falcons.
It's always going to be hard when you have a quarterback like Larry that can just sit there and he view the field.
Yeah.
And he knows where and how to get the ball to his players. And you have players that's unselfishly, this person not upset about this person get the ball too much, this person not get the ball too much. They just work together as a core team, which is good. It's going to be hard. It's going to be hard to overcome the Eagles. But, shout out to them for that win, 40-20. Shout out to Larry come back, help your boys at that terrible loss. Shout out to the Falcons for sticking there, y'all did lose, man. That was a good first game.
Yeah. So we start off with that game, and pretty high scoring game in and of itself. We moved on to our game of the week last week, which was the Seahawks versus the Ravens. It was a close one, 25-13. The Ravens pulled it out. And I know you're ready to talk about your guys, but I want you to start with the Seahawks. What good did you see in the Seahawks?
It's pretty much on the first game. Actually, I seen a team where they knew what they was up against. They still held it down. They tried their best. They kept defensive playing. And Curry, I heard him the whole game talking to his teammates, even when they went in this. And I'm on the other side as a coach hearing that, like, man, that's the guy I want on my team.
Yeah.
If we was in losing, that's the guy I want with that spirit on my team. Like, he kept his spirit up also. A couple of good plays. Damon. Oh, man.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Damon. I thought he was going to be a big problem for us, man. He caught that, 60-yarder?
Yeah, man.
Once that thing crossed him in, was gone.
It was out.
I said, oh, yeah, he's going to be a problem this season. Like, shout out to Damon. Fast. Boy, real good. Perfect good slot receiver.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a couple of highlights. But to the winners of the game, as I'm saying, when it comes down to the Ravens and the Seahawks, we both 2 undefeated teams, 2 high-scoring teams. You can see at the end of the day, it's a defensive game because both of us averaged 30 points or better. Both of us under our team average. So it was a good defensive game. Defense wins championships. Defense wins the games. Yeah. We were just a better defending team. Had a great receivers on like Isaiah. He had great receiver. We had Chris on him. We had his number. We pretty much had that number. We understood him. I studied that team And the Eagles, like, their games, I actually set my team down. We watch their game fields, we see what they do, and understand, like, this is what we up against. This is what we got to do. This is your task. But highlights. Kyrie held his composure, kept his game down. Isaiah, his presence was almost became a problem for my team. Just because he was their leading receiver, we had to think of who was going to play him, none of that. But Chris did a good job on him. Lamar did a good job once we assigned him to Damon. Rashad did a good job on Kyrie. Once Kyrie got his first couple of passes, we got Rashad home and we shut that down. Yeah. It's just like we focused our team more on defense this year. And not to mention, we got one of the best underrated quarterbacks in the league. He actually lead the league in touchdowns, passes.
Although I wouldn't say he's underrated anymore. Everybody know he's here, and everybody week after week he produces.
Yes.
And he is, I mean he's here. Yeah. If you don't know it now, you haven't been paying attention.
Yes.
We actually have him in the studio today a little bit later on.
We had T-Sean come through later on, ask a few questions about his next weekend that's coming up. But yeah, out of both of them games, it's good to see the ending of it and how it was a little conflict in the game if you paid attention to a little conflict, but they kept it on the field, kept it in the game. That was that was showing the maturity of these young fellas coming up in the streets and where they come from. How you could just let it go when you step into the field and do God's work. That's what we all focus our whole league on. So it was a good game for the Seahawks. We all talked trash to each other from week 1 to come to the time we play each other. And you can say we had the better outcome over the Seahawks, 25-13. They still brought their game, brought their team. It's just that we had a better defensive strategy for them. We had their number, as you say.
Cool. So Falcons. No, what was it? Last one was the high score in the shootout. It was the Panthers, at the Bengals, and so we saw a game that was. It was almost unfair. It was in the peak of this hot day. I think it hit the 90s, and that was. I feel like it was 90 at their game. And so shout out to those guys that were playing through that. But nonetheless, it was a lot of running going on. 53-40. The Panthers got their first win.
That game right there, Jeff, and you was here last year. Of course you was here. You remember. They acted like the Panthers of last year.
Yeah, they did.
It looked like the Panthers. I had to sit back and double tick like, they looking good. So shout out to the Panthers, man. Good bounce back yourself also, man. Y'all looking good. Y'all wonder if y'all can continue that on to next week's game. Hold y'all composure. Y'all poised together. Y'all didn't bicker as much as
they looked.
Y'all came together as a whole this week. Y'all listen to y'all coach this week. Y'all paid attention to the outside. Y'all didn't let the spectators interfere with y'all. That's what a lot of our young brothers do. Y'all playing the game. Y'all let the outside interfere with your game on the field. People won't talk trash regardless, man. Good game, Panthers, but the Bengals, well, y'all was gunning. Y'all can't go unnoticed in that game, man. Shout out to y'all also, man. Y'all did y'all thing. But it's just like, to me, in the second half, when it came to y'all last 5 minutes of the game, they got gassed.
Yeah.
They gassed out.
Guys wanted, they didn't have a big bench like the week before, so they had one sub, and everybody was trying to sub out, was tired, and that you could see that play a part. Here's a question I have for you. So we saw Jeremiah. Jeremiah came out and he had a great game. He had three touchdowns, and so generally he plays quarterback. But we saw a slight change in one in their offense. It revolved this week. It revolved around Roach. So you had Roach running the rock. You had Roach catching swing passes. You had Roach throwing touchdown passes, and you had Jeremiah who was really excelling at receiver. Yes. And so what do you think as a coach looking at this past week and the success you had with changing the offense? Where do you, in particular, Jeremiah, where would you, as a coach, if you're a coach of the Panthers, where would you have him at?
Quarterback. I would design a few trick plays for him to be able to get out and show his receiver skills, because he is. If you watch his release from last game, how he come out the line and he cut his routes, he cut as a wide receiver. But when you're a quarterback and you know how you throw the ball, you know how to run routes. Yeah. So that's a good double standard for him, good double impact for him. But I would keep Jeremiah, to me, at quarterback. His vision is more effective than him running down the field to the ball. Because they had some outstanding receivers. Some of them just didn't show this week. I don't know if they quit it or they just didn't show. But he got a great core of receivers. Roach can catch the ball. He can run the ball. Yeah. He can do whatever. And when you design plays like that, me as a coach. Like even when it came to my team, if you check on my cut, I did the same thing. Couple trick plays for my quarterback to go out and catch the ball. But I want to know you as the quarterback. Don't get too stuck on being a wide receiver, because as a quarterback, you're the head of the team. Yeah. And once you fall to a wide receiver, then you fall out of the head of the team. Yeah. So as a head, I'd rather keep Jeremiah at quarterback. He had success that last year, so this year. But I'd rather keep him at quarterback.
Okay.
If it was my coach, I would keep him at quarterback.
That's why I asked you, man. That's exactly why I asked you. But yeah, shout out to those guys. Carlos, Malik. Those guys. They have a bunch of little Deshaun Jackson type guys that can small guys that can scamper.
See a lot of yak yards after the catch. That's what I said.
That's the game.
A lot of yak.
That's the game. Jordan's still doing things. The thing at defense. Jordan.
Shout out to Jordan too.
He's
man.
leading the league in tackles.
Yeah, he does.
So he's
well disciplined too. Jordan. Him and I forgot to shout out my man. I'm sorry, I'm gonna take this back. Malik from the Seahawks. That's number 5. If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
He's a well-disciplined young man when it comes to snatching plays.
And Remy is also.
Remy too.
Doc, can't think his name.
Them boys is well-disciplined. Also, Jordan. Man, shout out to y'all boys, man.
Yeah. And shout out to Bengals. I think the Bengals are gonna come back this week and really play a hard game, against the Seahawks.
So are we moving on to predictions this week?
You know what? We might as well. That is our first game. We have the Bengals. We have the Bengals at the Seahawks, and so
Seahawks. Okay.
Yep, Bengals at Seahawks, and these are both teams. They lost their last game. Both teams that are hungry. That last game did not leave a good taste in their mouth. But you know what? As crazy as it sounds, this is going to be a game that's closer than most people would think. On paper, it looks like the Seahawks may run away with this, but the Bengals, they've been getting better. They have to identify some key leaders. Who's going to lead that team. Not just physically and in terms of gameplay, but also camaraderie-wise, being able to who's going to keep that team's composure.
That's what they need. We talked about that all the beginning of the season. Y'all had that one person on y'all team that's going to come talk to y'all players and y'all out of composure. Y'all not even when you're doing good, you still got to have that person that talk to y'all like, man, don't celebrate too much.
Yeah.
Don't get too cocky. You got to have that person that's going to be there to speak out. I'm afraid of the backlash of speaking on your team. You got to have that.
Yeah.
So tell all teams get that. You don't have that lead on your team, then your team can't be led to that victory that you're looking for.
Yeah. So. I totally agree with that. We and Bengals are at that point, and they need to find a sure winning quarterback. They have 3 guys that have been playing quarterback, rotating. From Thomas, Jerron, and also Tyree came in there and played quarterback also. But they got to have a quarterback, and they got to stick with that quarterback. And they can throw it up. Isaiah, Hosea, those guys can go up and get the ball.
Yes.
But they need a quarterback that they can rely on, and who could make plays and make great throws. And so that's going to be their key to keeping up with the Seahawks. I know Seahawks are going to come out hungry this week. Yeah. Just fresh off a loss, and I know Rashad just talking to him after the game. He's hungry. That didn't sit right with him. So he's going to come out and he's going to throw that rock and carry. And Isaiah, coming off of what is it, 1 catch game?
1 catch.
1, 2
Isaiah,
catches.
1 catch. 1 catch
Yeah,
game.
1 catch game. So Ravens really had his number. I know that it didn't sit right with him, and so I know he's going to come out and I think he's going to have a big game. So I'm going to actually take that game, and I'm going to say 35-14. Seahawks come out on top.
I'm not even going to argue with that. I'm going to roll with the Seahawks. I'm going to say pretty much, about 35-22. I'm going to say 22, but I'm going to take the Seahawks to that game because, like you're saying, they were just recently the only 2 undefeated teams up in the league. Mm-hmm. They are one of the 2 top highest scoring teams in the league. They are one of the 2 best wide receiver core teams in the league and secondary, not to mention Curry and Wichita sit out there, and they sit down and they play great defense.
Yeah.
So they had me reconstruct my whole plan this week. Well, not reconstruct, switch my players and run different routes because they had that such great safety coursing out there.
Yeah.
And so, I take the Seahawks 35-14.
Yeah.
Because the Bengals, to me, like I'm saying, to me, Bengals, it's nothing against y'all. No dirt thrown on y'all. Y'all a great team. But y'all have to come together as one.
They have to.
You have to figure that out. Y'all got to find y'all leaders on y'all team and coach.
Yeah.
Y'all don't want to be coached. Listen to your coaches, man. Pay close attention to that. Coaches know best, and the outside looking in, man. Listen for me. I know.
Yeah.
So, Seahawks over the Bengals 35-14.
35-14. Cool. All right, so moving on to that Panthers versus Eagles game. These teams are both put up big numbers last week, both coming off of key wins. We know that Eagles team can put up numbers, but we're starting to see a Panthers team who is kind of getting some rhythm underneath them. And so they're playing this tough Eagles team. And so what are your key factors? And so we know that the Panthers come into this game as being underdogs. And so what would need to happen for Panthers to be able to pull this game out?
Just be the Panthers of last week. Be yourself. Be a team. Talk to each other. Communicate. I seen that last game. I seen a lot of talking more than ever on that team. A lot of look, you belong here, you belong there. Get your position. No, I got your back. Help work. Help teammates. Like if they come with the core they had last game and the mind frame they had last game, now I don't think it's gonna be tough for the Panthers. Either that small team, like we said, they got a lot of Deshaun Jackson type. They got a lot of people that catch the ball and run after the catch. So they got to be more on defense. The defense got to be stepping more because they gave a lot of points also last week. Is what they scored. So you score 53, but you give up 40. That's not looking good on your defense.
Yeah.
So they got to come better defense than that core they had last week. I think the Panthers, it seems like fall to this game, but I think they're gonna have a great game at the last week.
Yeah, I mean, I do. I would say the same thing. I think they're gonna fight hard. It's gonna be a shootout.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I think weak spot for the Panthers is their defense, is their secondary. And I think if it is a bright spot for the Eagles, once their brightest spot is that they can do the deep ball better than any team in the league, and so that may be a recipe for disaster for for the Panthers. So but also they have been able to put up numbers in the last couple of weeks. So and Eagles generally have not looked that impressive on defense also. Right. So shout out to Coach David. He probably killed me for saying that. But for the most part, this is gonna be a shootout, and so I'm actually gonna take this game, and I think the Eagles will break the Panthers' records for most points scored. But I'm gonna say 60 to 35. The Eagles take this game.
I'm gonna take the Eagles too. I'm gonna say 40-26 because I think they're a little more close, about a 2 touchdown differential. Because like I said, both are 2 struggling defenses.
Yeah.
If you look at it, the week for just not week 3, but week 2 of the Eagles, they got 38 unanswered points.
Yeah.
No touchdowns. 38 straight points. That's defense. That make your defense look bad. Following week after that, they beat 40-20. That was to me at the end of the game. That last 20 points in the Falcons score was easy to me.
Yeah.
It was no defense for the Eagles. So when it came to the Panthers last week game, there's no defense there.
Yeah.
The Seahawks came out beat the Panthers 43 to
the Seahawks
19, and we beat and so that's points. You get up 40 points. You get up 30 points. Your defense, y'all come with better defense. So yeah, I would say the Eagles. It's gonna be a high score for Light. Light gonna have an excellent game. I think he'll have a field day with these boys to try to throw on the ball. He's gonna probably throw about another 5 touchdowns. I'm gonna say about I'm gonna take that back from 40. I'm gonna go around about 55-26.
Here's what I'm gonna say though, Coach Kenny. So we both agreed on 2 games. That should slightly worry you. My record is not. I don't have the best track record this year, but yet you right in line with me this year. You know what I'm saying? So it should worry you a little bit, man. But we're gonna see what all that entails. So we're gonna move on to this Falcons versus Ravens game, and so as we do that, we have a guest that is in the studio today, who we're gonna hear from. Just to introduce him, he is our leading QB, has the highest quarterback rating. Yes. He has 14 touchdowns through 3 games. He's on pace to finish the season with just below 30 touchdowns. And so we have our Ravens quarterback Tay who's joining us today. Tayshawn, welcome to Real Talk 1012, sir. How you doing today?
Good,
man. So I have a couple questions. One being, I know you guys are fresh from school, and word on the street is, you've been getting a lot of slack from these Falcons that you guys will be playing. You guys will be playing this week. What have you been hearing? What have you been hearing them say and say about this week's game?
They just been talking trash like they gonna beat us. Want me to tell you what I tell them though?
What'd you tell them?
Defense win games.
Woo. Yeah.
Defense win championships.
That's what I tell them. Every time I watch them, every time I watch y'all, y'all defense is lacking. So I'm going for 6 or more touchdowns this game against them.
6. I'm writing that prediction down. So six or more touchdowns this week. All right, cool. So turning over to your recent success as a team, what would you say has been the difference this year as opposed to last year? Why you guys continue to be successful as a team week after week?
Last year, Steelers, it wasn't working for us. That wasn't working for us. And then another thing, it was like lack of attendance. One week people come, next week they don't come. But this year we came strong and ready. We won a championship, so we came to ball this year.
Guys are hungry. Guys are hungry. How about yourself? What do you think this year? Because this Tay is not one that we've seen before. No one estimated. If you would have told me that Tay would be leading the league with 14 touchdowns after week 3, I would have said, man, get out of here. Ain't no way possible that would happen. But that's where you are. So what would you say was the biggest factor for you, being at 14 touchdowns this year?
Secret weapon.
That's
what you call it, a secret weapon.
Yeah.
So you knew you were capable of this, huh?
Yeah.
You just needed that opportunity, huh?
Yeah. Also, I can say what to me, like I said, on the outside looking as a coach, what better for me from him from last year was, if anybody paid attention to the Ravens, to the Steelers uniform that we wore last year.
Yeah.
Tay was had way more weight on him than last year. He slimmed down, he got his feet mobile together. So I said, I'm not gonna put you at center this year. You gonna be my starting quarterback.
So just out the blue, huh?
Yeah, because we play, like, if you don't know, one thing about the Ravens, I'm gonna give y'all a secret about the Ravens and about, we all be around each other. We come from the same area, we in the same core, we walk to the games together, we play games, we outside. So we play each other all day inside our parking lot. So I already seen the potential of my players, and that's what I think I got to cheat for as a coach. But I already know the potential. And when this year, this summer, that was passing down last summer, he threw the ball more, touchdowns. I was like, oh, you know what? Next year, man. Week 1 count, the boy throw for 6 touchdowns. Next week goes for 4 more, 7 more, and just keep going. So to me, he is our biggest secret weapon because we already know what Chris can do. We already know what Chris have done in our league. So we got the Lamont, we got to do this Tay as a quarterback. This ain't Tay the center, it's Tay the quarterback. That's what people don't understand. It ain't Tay the middle linebacker that you seen being lazy on the Steelers last year. It's Tay the quarterback. So his vision and his arm got better. That's what's going to make the Ravens better, our core, and our communication as a team. So when it comes down to this week's game, my prediction for this one, I see us 39-10 over the Falcons.
39-10
over the Falcons.
Over the Falcons. Tate, because you're on the show, we need a prediction out of you, man. Give us something. What do you think?
I'm gonna say 42-10.
42-10. So y'all saying y'all defense is going to really bring it this week.
Oh yeah, we coming.
Hold those guys to 10 points.
Did you see my blitzer on week 2? He had a school last week. He couldn't play. He had school on farewell thing last week. He couldn't come.
Who's your blitzer? Oh yeah,
my blitzer.
Yeah.
That boy is sharp.
Yeah.
He also had a pick 6.
He got a pick 6. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He had a pick 6.
The defense is here this year.
Yeah.
Chris, I got more interceptions on my team this year than last year. If you paid attention to that, also.
Yeah.
Like the first couple of games of my season last year, we had scores. We didn't have 3 interceptions, but we had this time our defense is more Raven-like.
Yeah.
It's more Raven-like, so that's what I like, man. Shout out to the Ravens, the Baltimore Ravens. Shout out to all 10-12 Ravens, man. We on the same page this year, man. Let's go.
Y'all on the same page. And you guys, for the most part, you guys are, one thing that I noticed about you guys fly around a lot more this year.
Yep.
I mean, alluding to what you're saying, is your strength and defense. You guys are running every play. It's not a lot of plays where you're giving up, where you're just hanging back. But yeah, that's
we constructed my safeties, my secondary, all that. Because now, I used to have flat-footed out there. To a lot of coaches, that you got to do. When you do your practice, you got to figure out who had the most footwork as your on your team. That's when you put in your secondary and stuff like that. So to me, I put Megamind to me because Megamind had the best footwork on my team as far as like outside field work defense. People faster than him on my team, people catch better than on my team. But he has the most awareness when the ball's in the air. That's why I like putting him in that position. Last week he had an interception, paid off for it. Chris had an interception. Lamar had 2 interceptions. He had make out for him. So yeah, shout out to the Seahawks last week. Come to the Falcons this week, man. We like all birds.
So I mean, I would say and that was very generous in terms of you guys' score. I'm gonna say I believe this game's gonna be much closer, and I think it is gonna be I'm gonna take 32-16, and I am gonna take the Ravens for the first time. Cause man, I get tired of losing, man.
Hey Chris.
But you know what though? I will say this. Daquan. Daquan had a great game. I think he had Daquan Sterling for the Falcons last week. I think he had two touchdown catches. Tavon he just continues to get a lot of receptions. Off there. We'll see if Mark and Keyway, who they were missing last week, will be back. And yeah, you know what? Like I said, this team has potential. And so if this game ends up in my only loss of the week. In predicting it wrong, I would not be surprised. This Falcons team has potential, and I know Ravens guys been probably sick of me not giving them the credit due, but nonetheless, I'm going with them this week. So that's a step ahead. So we'll see. We're excited about week 4. As always, make sure that you guys know your game day verse, Colossians 3:2. Set your mind on things that are above and not on things that are on earth. Comes from Colossians. Colossians chapter 3, verse 2. Make sure that you guys know that before the game. And remember the other announcements.
$10. Don't forget that.
$10 are game day jobs. Make sure that that's done. Other than that, look forward to week 4 and let's continue to have a great week out there. You guys make sure to pick up your trash, be respectful. We always have families out, and we're getting more and more visitors out that want to see you guys just doing something positive in the league. I just want to encourage you guys to really represent yourself well, represent your group of your teammates well, and represent the league well. And we can continue to do what we do, have a blast doing it. So again, Tay, thanks for coming out and joining us today. And thank you for joining us for another episode of Real Talk 1012. Peace.